So the title of my lesson today is, what do you want? What do you guys want?
Come on, babe.
Maybe you guys can throw it out there. Like, what was that say? A swimming pool? Yeah, a swimming pool would be great. It's a little chilly right now, but amen. Yeah, I like a swim as much as the next person. What else do we want, guys? Yeah, Shade. A dog. Oh, okay. Cora, you hear that? Yeah. What else do we want? Yep.
Happiness.
Happiness. Okay. What else do we want?
Peace. A truly surrendered heart.
A truly surrendered heart. Well, you're working on it. You're getting there. You're going to get there. Yeah. Tosin. A house. You what?
For my second baby to come.
Your second baby to come. Yeah. Papa Victor, yeah. Any hour now. You're just waiting for him to get that call. It's like, go run, Victor, go run. So here's the thing, is that we all want things in our life. We all want to be smarter. We want to get better grades. We want to get a better job. We want more money. Who would like more money? Like, be honest, guys. I would love to get some more money. Yeah, money's great. We all want more money in life. Who would like some more friends? Right? Yeah, I got friends, but I would love to have some more. Is that we all want different things in our life. Maybe we want a house. Maybe we want a car. Maybe we want a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Maybe we want a husband. Maybe we want kids. Whatever it is that you want, there are at least 1 million people that want it too. Yeah. Especially here in London. Whatever you want, is that even the most obscure things. Like, I wanted to be a salsa dancer when I came here. There's 1 million people that want to be salsa dancers here in London. So you want to be a basketballer, you want to be a poet, you want to be a painter, whatever it is you want to do, someone here, there's 1 million people here that want to do it as well. Yeah. And do you know what the difference is between people that want something and people that get it? Mm-hmm. They want it just a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So people that actually get what they want, try harder, push stronger. Go longer, wake up earlier, stay up later, give more. And this is the thing, is that it's in a cutthroat world. You're not in this little tiny village of like 20 people where it's like you're the only one that wants to be a photographer. Yeah. Guess what? You want to be a photographer in London, you got competition. You got about 50,000 other photographers right now that I could go find. I know, because when I search for wedding photographers, there's so many. It's so hard. It's so competitive. And the guy that we got, he wanted to do it. And he did an amazing, amazing job. And so what about you? What do you want? If you're going to get it in life, you need to push harder than you've ever pushed before in your life. And so I want to talk about a story about a woman. We love women in the church, right? Can I hear from my sisters? Yeah? And even for the brothers, you can learn a lot from this woman because she was incredible. And so her name is Hannah, and she's in 1 Samuel chapter 1.
Come on, babe.
So Hannah was a woman that wanted something. She didn't have it. And she wanted it so bad that eventually she got what she wanted.
Come on, Kolbe.
So in 1 Samuel chapter 1, in verse 1, we begin our story. It says, there was a certain man from Ramathaim, a Zuphite, from the hill country of Ephraim, whose name was Elkanah, son of Jeroham, the son of Elihu, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuph, an Ephraimite. He had 2 wives. One was called Hannah and the other Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah had none. Year after year, this man went up from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord Almighty at Shiloh, where Hophni and Phinehas, the 2 sons of Eli, were priests of the Lord. Whenever the day came for Elkanah to sacrifice, he would give portions of the meat to his wife Peninnah and to all her sons and daughters. But to Hannah he gave a double portion because he loved her, and the Lord had closed her womb. So you have this story. You got this guy, and he's got his 2 wives, Hannah and Peninnah. And why was Hannah's name listed first? Because she was the more prominent one, is that she most likely would have been his first wife. But the problem is that his wife she was barren. She couldn't produce children. And this guy, he came from a noble family line that needed children. You needed to have an heir to continue on the family line. So he went and he got another wife, who then had lots of kids. And so, but the thing is, this guy, he's devout, he's God-fearing, he wants to go, he goes year after year. This guy's fully committed, he sacrifices, and he takes care of his family. is that he provides for everything that they need. We all want someone in our life that's going to take care of us, that's going to provide for us. We want to make sure that we have our material needs met. And this is what he did for his family. And so Peninnah, she and all of her kids, they all get portions of meat. But to Hannah, it said that he gave her a double portion in English. When you look into the Hebrew, what it actually says is it's double tongue. And what most commentators think it was is that the most special part of the animal that was sacrificed was the head. And so what Elkanah would have done is he would have sacrificed 2 animals, and he would have given all the parts to Peninnah and her children, but then to both of the heads he would have given to Hannah, because she was special, because he loved her, because he wanted to give her the most special type of thing he could give her. And so this is awesome, right? She's there, she's got a cranking husband that loves God, they're fully committed, they're going to church, he's providing for her, she's very comfortable. My first point is this, the comfort trap.
Ooh, nice.
See, Hannah was comfortable, but she didn't have what she wanted. She didn't want to be comfortable. She wanted to have a child. And I think that this is what can happen with us in our life, is that we live in the first world. So our life is better than the other 6 billion people in the world. Is that no one in Africa has to think about which coffee shop they're going to go to that morning.
Right, yeah.
Right? No one in China ever thinks about, which university should I go to? They're just like, no, any university I can go. I would die for the opportunity to be able to go and get a further education. Is that we live in the most comfortable city in the world. Is that London cranks. And I love London, but let's just be real here. Let's not be naive or deceived. We've got life very easy. And what this does is it stops us from getting what we want in life. Is that when I traveled to LA, and the guy that leads the church in LA, his name's Tim, and he loves jiu-jitsu. Do I have any jiu-jitsu fans in the house at all? Yep, Michael loves jiu-jitsu in the back. I'm glad I had one, that would have been bad. Yeah, so jiu-jitsu, it's all about submissions. And so what you can do is you can get locks or you can get chokes. And so if you choke someone, what they do is they tap out, and then you let go of them. And they're like, okay, you win. And the thing is, we would go training for jiu-jitsu, and it would be very early in the morning. So it would be 6:30 in the morning. And so we would get there, and sometimes guys wouldn't show up. And we're like, okay, we'll get them. So then he would call them a few hours later. He's like, hey, bro, what happened? He's like, oh, sorry, I slept in. Yeah, so you got tapped out by your blanket, huh? Is that those darn blankets, they just get you, they wrap around you, and then they choke you out, and you just got to tap out, go back to sleep again.
Every morning.
And here's the thing is that when I wake up in the morning, is that I tried having my alarm clock next to my bed, but that never worked. I would always go back to sleep. So then what I would do is I would set my alarm across the room up on the shelf. So my alarm goes off, I have to get up, I walk up, I switch off my alarm, and you know what happens? My blanket reaches out and grabs me and pulls me back into bed, and it wraps me up, and I have to tap out and go back to sleep again. Can you believe it? And you guys laugh because you know it's true, and you guys do the same thing. We love to be comfortable. Yeah. And I think for myself is that when I look at my life, this past year has been a very comfortable year. Because what happened is that I became a Christian, and man, it was out of the fire into the frying pan. It was tough. And I was like, it was awesome. It pushed me. It challenged me. And then at our conference in October in 2016, I wanted 3 things. I wanted to be an evangelist. I wanted to be married. I wanted to lead a region. And 1 year from then, 2017, a year ago, I had all of those things accomplished. So I got what I wanted. And then I stopped.
Right.
Have you ever been that way where you want something in life and then you get it and then you're just like, okay, I got what I wanted. I'm good now. Yeah. This is where I've been. Is that I've been very comfortable with my life. And this comfort has stopped me from moving forward. I moved forward very quickly, and I grew and I grew and I grew and I grew, and then I stopped growing. I stopped progressing. Because here's the thing, is that comfort is the enemy of progress. Is that you cannot move forward in life while being comfortable. If you want to be comfortable, you will either stay in the same spot or you'll go backwards, but you will not go forwards. And so here's my question for you guys is that what is the comfort trap in your life? What is the thing that you are comfortable in? That warm blanket that just one's going to tap you out in life. Is that what's holding you back? Is that it's time to get rid of that. Get rid of that blanket. Dash it and burn it, as Haven would say. Get rid of that. Don't be comfortable in life because you're never going to get what you want in life if you want to be comfortable. Is that maybe that is what you want. Well, you'll get what you want, but you won't be happy.
Right.
I think Michelle talked about being happiness. We all want to be happy, right? Is that you can't be comfortable and happy. Because again, comfort is going to hold you back. You're really happy when you're moving forward in your life, when you're growing, when you're changing, when you're having an impact, right? We all want to live a life of meaning and of purpose. You can't do that comfortably. Is that all the greatest world changers in the world, they always push themselves. They challenge themselves. And that's what we need to do. So it's time for us to get rid of the comfort traps in our life. Amen, church? See, this is what I love about Hannah. Is that Hannah says, no, I don't want to be comfortable. Let's continue on in our story. Let's go to verse 6.
Come on, babe.
So she gets this awesome stuff. God's providing for her. Got an awesome husband. It says, because the Lord had closed Hannah's womb, her rival kept provoking her in order to irritate her. Is that the sisters in the house, you know about those women that they've got what you want and then they just want to wreck your life. They want to make you miserable. Is that sometimes women can do this. Sometimes men do this too. It says, this went on year after year. Can you imagine living with not this other woman, this rival, that her purpose in life is to wreck your life and to make you miserable? It says, whenever Hannah went up to the house of the Lord, her rival provoked her till she wept and would not eat. Her husband Elkanah would say to her, Hannah, why are you weeping? Why don't you eat? Why are you downhearted? Don't I mean more to you than 10 sons? See, you've got Hannah. She's got this thorn in her flesh, Peninnah. You just said, Peninnah, oh, Peninnah, I can't see her every morning. Every morning I got to see this woman. And then she's frustrated, she's downhearted, she's all these things. And then her husband comes over and is like, what's wrong with you? Like, I know sometimes you've been like that, where you're like discouraged and someone like tries to encourage you, but all they do is discourage you more. Yeah. Right? We know these people. So then what does she do? She's got this rival, her husband isn't getting it, so she goes to God. She goes to church. And it says, in verse 9, once they'd finished eating and drinking in Shiloh, Hannah stood up. Now Eli the priest was sitting on his chair by the doorpost in the Lord's house. In her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. And she made a vow saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. As she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli observed her mouth. Hannah was praying in her heart, but her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. Eli thought she was drunk and said to her, how long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine. Man, this poor woman cannot catch a break. She gets it from Peninnah. She gets it from her husband, who's not got his head switched on. He's not being very sensitive. Then she wants to go get some help at church. And the church leader, the religious guy, completely accuses her of wicked sin that she's not in. Can you guys ever relate to this? Where someone accuses you that you did something and you didn't even do it? Is that point number 2, frustration produces motivation. See, Hannah was very frustrated in life. She was frustrated that this evil woman is harassing her and taunting her and making her feel terrible. She's frustrated that her husband, her supposedly spiritual leader, doesn't get it, isn't being sensitive. And what does she do? She goes to God. I think, can I talk to the sisters here for a second? Yeah? Where are my sisters at? So one of the things that women can do sometimes is that they can get a little emotional. Is that, am I right here? Yeah? And what happens is that when you get emotional and someone says something to you that's discouraging, that's not right or whatever, what do you say? Oh, but you just don't understand me. Right? Any of my sisters said this before? You just don't understand me. And the truth is, you're right. They don't understand you. Is that Elkanah did not understand his wife. It's like, you don't get it. You're not a woman. You don't understand what it's like to want to have a baby. Dude, you don't understand what I'm going through. And then she goes, she's got another derelict man that doesn't know how to help her, how to encourage her. He doesn't get her either. No one understands what she's going through. But does she stand there and say like, oh, you don't understand me, you don't understand, you don't understand. Nobody understands me, my life is so hard. No, she goes to God. She allows these people in her life to frustrate her, and then she goes in her frustration to God. Amen. You want to know someone that you can always go to no matter what you're feeling, whether you're angry, frustrated, mad? Go to God. Yeah. Don't come to me when you're frustrated. I don't want to deal with your frustration and things like, go to God. He wants your frustration. He wants all of these things. And frustration can actually be a powerful motivator. Yeah. It can actually get you to go forward in life.
Yeah, that's true.
See, because what Hannah wanted, she wanted to do her job. She was Elkanah's wife. She had one job: give him a son. Her job was not to become a good singer. It wasn't to become a great athlete. It wasn't to become a great artist. It wasn't to become a great preacher. And this is the thing, is that sometimes what can happen is that if we don't get what we want, we focus our energies on other things that we think we can be successful in. If you try to do something and fail, you get frustrated, so then you do something that's easier in life. And I think that she didn't want to do that. She had a singular focus. I have one job: produce a child. I'm not doing my job. I'm frustrated. People are discouraging me. They're hard. They're harassing me. They're making me feel terrible. But I'm going to go to God. And God is going to strengthen me. And God is going to enable me to do my job. Is that we all can think of a story when we were like frustrated, and that frustration made us get some stuff done, right? Yeah. So I remember whenever Rebecca and I, we moved into our new house in Shepherd's Bush, and it was nice. It was a little bit smaller and stuff, but hey, it was much better, much more central. And one of the things that we didn't really count the cost on was that it's right on the main road. And I didn't know this until the first night, but there's a hospital right down the road from us. So we get on average maybe like 3 or 4 ambulances a night that go by. I was like, ugh. It's frustrating. So what I got to do is we just close the door, and it cuts out most of the sound. So one night we were lying in bed. I was so tired, and the door cracked open. And the way that our door is, it's set at a slight angle, so you can't like close it most of the way and it stays shut. If it's open at all, it'll swing all the way open. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I go up and I close it, and I go back in bed. What is going on? And I go to close it, and it opens again, and I close it again, and it opens. It's like, and I'm like, I get my flashlight, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, and Rebecca's there like, babe, what are you doing? I'm like, babe, I gotta fix this. I got a problem. I'm in my man mode. I'm gonna fix this problem. And so I'm like, this door is not shutting. So what do? I'm like, I'm going to fix this. So I get some string, and I tie the door handle to the bedpost. And I was like, this door is not opening tonight, and I'll figure this out in the morning. So I slept, and I woke up, and I got to untie everything to like go out in the morning. And I called the landlord. I was like, hey, Gopi, so the door is kind of broken. Could you send someone around to fix it? Or could you come around and fix it? It's like, well, I mean, like, and this is just, it's like, well, I mean, like, I could look at it, but, I mean, I don't know when I could come by, and you're probably going to be able to do as good of a job as me. I was like, okay, so I can fix it? It's like, you don't mind if I adjust some of it, or maybe, like, edit the door a bit? And he's like, yeah, you do whatever you want. I was like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I want then. You're okay with that? Yeah, you're okay. Click. And so I get my Leatherman. I was like, this is a Leatherman. It's all I need. A man and his Leatherman. That's all you need. And I look at it, and I disassemble the door handle. And I'm looking at it, and I'm putting it all together. And it's like one of those doors where it goes. It's like a handle, not like a knob. And so I'm looking at all the different components, and I'm saying, is there a problem? What's going on? And then I look, and I notice that the frame has been newly painted. And so instead of the door going and clicking like this behind the latch, the workers, they put it on crooked. And so it was going and it was catching like this. And I was like, oh, I'll fix that real quick. So I get my screwdriver, and I start chipping away at the inside, and I make the hole was supposed to be like this big, but I made it like this big. I was like, as long as it fits, I don't care. And so I get it, and then I put it back in. And I was so fired up. I slept. I had the best night's sleep of my life. But in the middle of it, I was about to have like a fit of rage. I was about to like start swearing, and I was just so angry, so mad, so frustrated. But that frustration made me get my job done. Is that frustration isn't always a bad thing. Is that frustration, if you allow it, can be a powerful motivator to allow you to get stuff done. And I think sometimes if we're not getting stuff done in our life, if we're not getting what we want, it's because you're not mad enough about it. Is that righteous anger, righteous indignation can help move you forward. But what happens when you get sad, you get depressed, and you sit down and you do nothing. I think this is the problem, is that some of us, is that we're just sad about where our lives are at. We're sad with the job we have. We're sad the school that we're at. We're sad our physical fitness and our health. We're just sad, and we're not doing anything about it. Well, the problem is you need to get mad. And here's the thing, is that I believe that God put Peninnah in Hannah's life as someone to make her mad. Is that sometimes God will put someone in your life that makes you mad. And that's good. Is that anyone that's been discipled by me, I make them mad sometimes. And that's a good thing, because it gets them to move forward. It's great. And so I think the thing for you guys is that get mad. Don't get sad about your life. Get mad about your life. Get frustrated. Allow that frustration to become a powerful fuel to push you forward to get past these plateaus that you're on. Is that whatever it is isn't cutting it. Is that you need to get ticked off enough about your current situation to where you're ready to change and ready to do better. Point number 3.
Come on, baby.
Broken, not bitter. See, what can happen when you get sad is that you can get bitter. And this is what's really powerful about Hannah, is that you would be really, you could understood a woman in her situation, how she would be bitter. For year after year after year, she's trying to have children, she can't have children. In the culture she was at, she didn't get points for going and having an awesome job or having a great education or being multi-talented. The only thing in this ancient culture, the only thing she was good for is producing children. That was a woman's wealth was purely determined based on her ability, her fertility, her ability to have children. Thank God we don't live in that world anymore. But that's the world that she was in. And she's got this woman who's super fertile, who has tons of children, who's telling her, oh, look, you don't have any kids. Yeah, you're a bad wife. You're a bad woman. And she's trying. And she's frustrated. And she's pushing. It would be very, very understandable for her to get bitter. But what makes Hannah special is that she didn't get bitter. Let's look at what she does.
Come on.
In verse 15. So she's accused by the religious leader of being in wicked sin that she's not in. And she says, not so, my lord, Hannah said. I'm a woman who is deeply troubled. I've not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant as for a wicked woman. I've been praying here out of my great anguish and grief. So she doesn't get bitter. She gets broken. She says, dude, I'm pouring out my heart. I'm in anguish. I'm trying so hard. I'm at the breaking point. And she keeps on going. See, Eli answered, go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him. She said, may your servant find favor in your eyes. Then she went her way and ate something, and her face was no longer downcast. Or the next morning, they arose and worshipped before the Lord, and then went back to the home at Ramah. Elkanah made love to his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. In the course of time, Hannah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, because I asked the Lord for him. See, it would be very understandable for this woman to get bitter about life, and especially bitter when it comes to sexual intimacy with her husband. The one thing she wants is to have a child. And she keeps being intimate month after month, year after year, trying to conceive, and she can't. And you could understand, she was like, you know what, no. I'm not feeling it tonight. I don't want to. I don't want to try, because every month I try and I never conceive. She's still persevering. Her bitterness doesn't stop her. She's like, look, I still want to persevere. I've still got faith. I'm still going to try. And I think that's what happens, is that sometimes we have dreams and then we don't get our dreams. And then we get frustrated. And then we still don't get our dreams. And then we get sad, we get depressed, and we get bitter. And we give up our dreams. Is that this is not something that happened like month after month. This is year after year.
Right.
Is that if you look at Peninnah, is that she had sons and daughters. she had at least 4 children. So this was going on for at least 4 years, probably much longer than that. And so Hannah isn't bitter. She just tries again and again and again and again. And you see, God blesses her. God finally gives her what she wants. The one thing she wanted was a son, and God finally gave it to her. But the thing is that, are you ready to go this far? Because we all want things in our life. And I think what I've noticed the difference between London compared to other parts of the world is that people here don't want to say what they want. Is that they're like, what do you want? I don't know. No, you do know. You're just afraid of telling me because you're afraid of not getting it. Is that we know what we want, but we're afraid to say so. We're afraid that we're not going to get it. And most people in London don't have what they want. They're not happy. They're miserable. They're depressed. They're sad. They're bitter. Because they're not doing what Hannah did. They're not pushing to the breaking point and then beyond. And I think that this is really a lesson for all of us. And it's really great to see in different areas of life. You see it here with the family. But I really see this in athletics. Because athletes, they want it. They want to go after it. And I think it's really awesome. We've got Jessica. And we've also got, what was your name again, sorry? Jada. Awesome. We got 2 basketballers in the house because I love basketball. It's awesome. And what I want to do is I want to tell you a story about a famous basketballer. You probably have heard of him. Is that this basketballer, he went on to play in the NBA. But most people that play in the NBA, when they're a small child, they just dominate everything. Because most people that play at a professional level, they just are naturally blessed with genes, with natural talents in athletics, natural skills. So they just dominate at the lower leagues. And then they go up to high school, then they get up to college, pro league, and that's when they get challenged. But most pro players, they just dominate whatever high school they're in. And that's the way that it is. And I mean, we could all play against Jessica. She'd go 1v all of us and she would still beat us. And so, but the thing is that about this guy in particular, he wasn't like this. So he wanted to be a basketball player. He wanted to be a pro basketball player. And he played his first year of high school. And then his second year of high school is that he had to play for the team. And you had 2 weeks at the beginning of the season whether or not you could make the cut for the team. And everyone knew on the team the day that the cut sheet got released. And this guy, he went with one of his friends who was also on the team, and they go over and they look at the list, and his friend is on the list, but he's not. And he said in a later interview, he said, like, yeah, I kept looking at the list because I was afraid. I felt like as long as I kept on looking, there was a chance that I might have found my name. And he said, oh, well, maybe it was based on talent. Maybe the best people are at the top and the worst people are at the bottom. So he looked and he says, no, it's alphabetical. My name is not on the list. And so he said that day, he just went through the day completely numb. And he went home that day and he said he went home and no one was in the house, but he closed the door in his room and he just cried. And he cried and he cried and he cried because all he wanted to do was be a basketball player. And his dreams were crushed. And then he said his mom came home from work that day and she could see that he was upset. And she said, what's the matter? And he says, Mom, I didn't make the team. And he cried and he cried and he cried. And he watched all season as the team played game after game after game until it came to the end of the season where you had the tournament. And he said to the coach, he said, Coach, is there any way I could travel with the team on the team bus? Like, I know I'm not on the team, but can I come on the team? And the coach said no. Says, please, coach, please just let me travel on the team with you guys. I just want to be with my friends. Like, I haven't got to play with them this season. He says, okay, you can travel on the coach. So they travel together, and everyone's there. They can't wait to play, and he's just sitting there, just listening. He's the only one that's not on the team. And then he gets there, and the coach says, hey, you can't come in the gym with us. He says, no, please can I come in with the gym with us? It's just, please, I want to go with my friends. I want to go with the team. I know I'm not on the team, but can I please go with you guys? He says, okay, you can come with us, but only if you carry all the other players' uniforms. Amen. And so he went in, and his parents were in the stands, and they saw him, and their faces lit up because they thought he was going to play that game. And he said he was so ashamed because he had to tell his parents that he wasn't on the team, that he was just there to carry the uniforms. He later went on and he played in college. He played in the NBA, and his name is Michael Jordan.
Wow.
And you may have heard of him. Because he went on to become not just the greatest basketball player of all time, but one of the greatest athletes of all time. It's like he won every single final that he went into. And the thing is that he said in that interview, he said, it was good for me because I learned how to deal with discouragement early. Nice. And he said, I wanted it so bad. And this is the thing, is that what made Michael Jordan the greatest wasn't because he was the biggest or the fastest or the strongest. It's because he wanted it the most. That's why he won, because he wanted it more than everyone else on the court. And I think that this is the thing with us, is that some of you guys, you come to me and you say that you want stuff, but in all honesty, I don't believe you. Because your life doesn't show that you want it. You say that you want to do great things for God, but then you don't do anything for God. You say that you want to date one day, you want to get married, but then you don't actually change the things in your life to do that. You say that you really want to seek God, you want a relationship with God, but then you don't do anything about that. And this is the thing, is that if you are actually going to get what you want in life, especially if you're going to get what you want spiritually, you need to get here. You need to get to the point of brokenness, where you're ready to do anything. You're ready to be a disgrace. You're ready to humiliate yourself. You're ready to walk into the stadium full of people carrying all the players' jerseys that you're not going to play for. You're not on the team. You're serving the team. And I think this is really my lesson, because you remember how I said in the beginning that I wanted 3 things, and I got those 3 things in a year. Is that I wanted to be an evangelist, and the truth is that I became an evangelist much quicker and much easier than the majority of other people that become evangelists. Is that I wanted the most beautiful, most talented, most amazing woman, and I got her. I got all these things that I wanted. But then we talk about this year as what I've gotten. I've not really gotten really much of anything. And the truth is that I didn't really want it. Is that rather than wanting to do great things for God, I just wanted to be comfortable. I wanted an awesome marriage. I got an awesome marriage. I wanted to be an evangelist. I got an evangelist. And then I just stopped. I stopped wanting greater things in life. And this week, I've been on the university at Imperial. And last week, Michael Williamson, he came and he said, Kolbe, you just don't want it bad enough. I said, okay, let me think about this week. So I read this chapter on Monday. I was like, man, I need to want it more. And then Michael preached it on Tuesday. Man, I need to want it more. Then on Wednesday, I went to the Mormon temple, and I saw all these people that want it. They go out sharing their faith 12 hours a day. They go from 9 to 9. That these guys want it. And I got frustrated. I was like, okay, I need to want it more. And I kept on going, and it wasn't until Thursday, after all these things, I need to want it, I need to want it, I need to want it, and I didn't want it. And I went down, I sat in a park bench, and I just sat and I just cried. And I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried because I wanted it. For the first time this year, I wanted to do more. I wanted to make people disciples. I wanted to grow the campus. I wanted to grow the church. And I think I had to get to that point of brokenness before I could really change, before I could really get what I want. And so I think the question for you guys is that, do you really want it? Is that if you've not broken down in tears for what you want, you don't want it. Don't tell me you do. Because Hannah wanted it year after year after year, month after month, trip after trip to the temple. She wanted it, and she's crying out in brokenness, weeping, because she wanted it so bad. Is that what she wanted wasn't unspiritual. Is that sometimes we can feel guilty about wanting to do great things for God. That's a lie from Satan. Is that she wanted to do great things from God. Is that God was just testing her heart. And I think God wants to do great things through me. God wants to do great things through all of us. But God is testing our heart. How bad do you want it? Because God wants to use people whose hearts have been broken, that really, really desire to be used by Him. And this is where we need to be. Is that we need to be willing to do whatever it takes. We need to get our tissues out. We need to cry. We need to spend long nights praying to God. We need to get up early in the morning, just eager to do God's work throughout the day. Is that this is what we need to do. Because what I want is to build this church. What I want is to have incredible people becoming Christians. This is what I want. And I really want it now. I really, really want it. And And I want you guys to want it too. You guys need to want to do great things in your life. I want to inspire you. God has called you guys. God has chosen you to do special things. Each and every one of you is here for a reason. God has brought you here to be used powerfully. He just needs to prepare us to have the right heart. Is that for Hannah, it took her years to get this right heart. For me, it's taken me 3 years to get this heart. But it doesn't need to take years. Is that you can change your heart today. You can get broken today. You can go home. You can lock yourself in your room. You can cry out to God. God, I want to change. God, I want to do great things for you. God, I want to be used powerfully. God, I want to be more than I am right now. You can do that today. But do you want to? I cannot make you do it. I can't make you be hungry. I can't make you desire to do these things. You have to wake up. You have to desire to do more. We have to get rid of these comfort traps. Let's reject Western culture. Let's reject mediocrity. Let's allow the hardships and the frustrations in our life to not just make us bitter, but to motivate us to do greater things. And then when we still don't get it, when we keep running into this brick wall that won't move, don't get bitter. Don't give up. Don't stop. Get broken. Break through to a new level on your heart so that God can use you powerfully. I want it. Let's go out. Let's go want to do great things for God together.